switch over. All right. So slightly different setup. You probably saw the good old Rust rotating logo that we had like a year ago. That's because I broke out my my Windows notebook that I have, and I'm using it to do the stream. So I've got this nice little setup. Miguel, good morning. I didn't put on the final like stream ending overlay that we had because the information is not exactly correct anymore. I need to actually download that project, make the update to it, and then repackage it for Windows, get it over to that computer. I realize like doing those overlays in Rust is not like the most optimal way to do stuff because of the compilation stage where I could just like deploy it to Now or Heroku and then it would just be up there. But that's all besides the point. So that also means that this entire sort of like screen has been reset. My primary window is now over here. To me, it's over there. To you, yeah. Mirror cameras are fun. So I want to turn off a bunch of these things. So you go off. You go off. You go off. You go off. Quitting all of these applications that I don't want to put notifications up. All right. So where were we last time? Code, builds, nature of code in Rust. Chapter 1. It's actually, so I realized this is not chapter 1. So I kind of want to change that. So move chapter 1. This is the introduction. That's where we're in. And then I also wanted to move our traditional random walk to what? Well, let's actually just go find this. I also don't know if you can hear the fan. So I've got like fans from the Windows computer is now going on. Let's move you over here. And this is going to be nature of code. We're going to read the book now. All right, this is going to be example. Is that I.1? I think this is 1.1. I didn't realize that. When I was reading the book, it just sort of looked like 1.1. I think it is 1.1 in the book. Also, introduction. Let me see. There. Oh no, it is different. That looks like an L or maybe like a capital I. Figure I.1. Okay, so that's what it is. And then they have I.2 next. So we'll do that. This is gonna be I.1, and then we'll just do traditional random walk. So then if we cd into here, we're going to open up code. So I am trying to make this like match a little bit with the book. I'm not going to do every single exercise from the book. I'm sort of going to do the ones that feel fun to me or interesting. Things that will like help me get back into Rust, get back into GGEZ, and make sure that I like really grok the vector system. The vectors, the vector math, that's what we really want to go for. You're 10 streams into my Rust book series. You read 2 full books in Rust, though, and have a pretty strong understanding of how the compiler work. Haven't written any code yet. That'll be really interesting to see your sort of your opinion on that, because I read the book with like no information on the Rust compiler and no other like I think I've known some people like Danny Fritz who's been on the show before. He's watched and commented before. He helped me through a bunch of Rust stuff. And Dan Levy, who is my mentor, who I've had a few mentor streams with. We both have talked about Rust a bunch. And that was the only just talking about it was pretty much my only experience. So that, I guess, like, that's where I came from with the Rust book, which is very interesting because I get comments every once in a while on videos about how like, why don't you know this? Why aren't you getting better at this? It's like, well, I'm trying. I'm showing the learning process. All right, where were we last time? Right, we had accidentally made a square and not a circle like we were expecting to. So I'm gonna just go ahead. We know we're creating this, right? I'm gonna go ahead and make this a full screen. Here is what we had run into. So things that I've learned. We passed the context, we pass it the fill mode, we pass it the location, and we pass it the radius, and then this number. So when we gave it 0, I'll just go ahead and rerun this because this is hilarious. Cargo run. We get a sort of rotated square, a rotated rectangle, which might not look exactly what we wanted to do here, but if we change this to the example that we had seen was 2.0, so if I change it to that, we get something that's a lot more circle-like, but it has a bunch of these spots. And last night, I was reconfiguring the desk for today's stream, and I just couldn't help myself but load up the code base and sort of look around and actually look at the documentation a little bit. This is something that I've seen in not Love 2D, which this is based upon, but P5.js and processing. So when creating an ellipse in those game engines, well, I guess they're not game engines, but in those engines, there is this idea of segments, like number of segments. So it's basically saying, okay, how many or how long do we want each point between a dot to be to when creating that? And so if I were to say, the larger the number it is, so where's that? That's here. So if I do something like 15, the less of these that we're going to get. So it would feel interesting that that 0 creates some. We would think that maybe like 0 is none, like, but the way it's calculating, it's saying what is the amount of space between these. So 0 is actually causing problems. What we can do is switch this to like 0.1 or 0.01. I'm not actually sure what the best one is here. I'm just going to use 0.1. And bam, we've got a circle. And that's because it's saying, hey, every 0.1 position. So I'm not sure if it's like pixels. Go ahead and then draw a line. So the documentation doesn't really talk about what the exact measurement is, but we can sort of figure it out. So this is how we get our circle. So if we're still creating this random walk here, then what I'm going to want to do, let's go ahead and quit this, is I want our circle to be really small, but still large enough that the video can capture that and see it. So I'm thinking that we want to say something like let radius equals maybe, let's try 1.0. Let's try the smallest size. And we're going to put that in here. We're going to keep that at 0.1. I think also now we can do .0 for everything. That'll make it black. And, oh, I can't remember if we want 1.0 for the transparency, for the alpha. So I can see this in this top right corner right there. I can barely see that in my my preview window. Tell me, should I make that bigger or is that good? Maybe a bit small at the moment. All right, so let's try making this like a 5. So we'll jump up to 5. You can see it even though it looks like a speck of dust. All right, so here's this one. This dot here, this is significantly bigger. I can definitely see it in my preview window though. So I think this might be a better one to go with. Katali, hello, good morning. All right, I think I'm gonna stay with this. Obviously we can change it pretty easily. So what do we wanna do? We want to, every single, like have a location that we're gonna start. I'm thinking just right in the center. So our struct in the game, we're gonna have access to that in our self here, and this is gonna be our state. So I'm thinking we're gonna say our we have this location too. Now what's really interesting is that the introduction is saying that we shouldn't be using a vector for this, even though it's kind of what this is here. I don't think I really want to play like to change that. So let's try this. I want a location. Is it colon? I'm getting all my languages mixed up now. Location, and this is going to be a type NA algebra 0.2. Or is it thin arrow? Oh, wrong number of type arguments. Let's see, this is going to be a F32, F32. Oh, expected 1. Okay. Just 1. Okay, well, apparently that is the way to do it. So now when we create the game, we have to give it the initial, our initial location. And so we need to create an NA algebra, 0.2, new, and I guess we could We want to say the center, right? Where do we get like the width? GGEZ. So I want to figure out what the width of the entire window is. So if we do change it, context.width. I'm thinking, so I want to find that in the, let's see, let's just search for it. Width. I don't see a context width. So I see a GGEZ conf window mode width. The window width. Okay, so this seems right. Width and height. This is on GGEZ conf window mode. Ooh, can we get it off graphics too? Because that might be exactly what we want. Thanks. Oh, that's set mode. I don't want set mode. Like that context might be interesting too. So we have these sets. Size. Return the size of the window in pixels as width. So is a tuple? So this is a question, and I think I asked it before and then I forgot what everybody said. Do you pronounce tuple as tuple or tuple? I've always just pronounced it tuple, but I don't know if there's like a proper way of saying it in English. Tuple. Okay, so Fiano, you say tuple. Okay, so graphic size, and then we'll get the width and a height. All right, that's easy. So when we create a new one, do I have width height equals graphics size, and then we hand it context. We actually are using the context now, so no more underline. And then in here, we'll hand it the width divided by 2 and the height divided by 2. So right in the center. It's tupla in Spanish. Tupla. That's probably a horrible pronunciation. Keep in mind that we'll need to change if you ever resize the window. Yes. Well, this is just the starting location. So theoretically, if I do any other math, I'm thinking that this will change. Oh, you need to be divided by 2.0. Oh, but you still say tuple. Okay. All right, so fields never lose the location. That's fine. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start here. Instead of setting the location, we're now going to use self. Here's this new circle. It's now going to be self.location. So if we rerun this, nothing should have changed, but it should now be in the center. That's not the center. That is most decidedly not the center. What did I do wrong here? Let me move this to the side so we can all see it. Why does it need to be divided by 4? So if the width is the number of pixels here, like that, dividing by 2 would put it in the middle, right? Wouldn't it? Also, good morning, stacking. You think it said includes the title bar. I did not catch that. Returns the size of the window in pixels as in width, height, including borders, title bar, etc. Return zeros if the window doesn't exist. Yeah, so it does have that, but is that enough? So the width is all I'm caring about right now. The height I can understand, and it does look like it's farther left than it is high up. In equals it. Get drawable size. Ooh, okay, so that might be a better... That's on graphics, right? Drawable size. Returns the size of the window's underlying drawable in pixels. Return zeros. Okay, so drawable size. Looks like it's not. Let's try that then. Close you. Drawable size. Hand it the context. Is that exactly the same? It feels like it's slightly closer to the center, but not exactly. Katali asked, did I set up the streaming computer? Yes, I did. So now when I compile, if we get a bunch of lost frames, it's not because of this computer over here. It's on this computer over here. It's that's fault. We're sure this window is square. No. But would that matter? Because I'm taking the width and dividing by 2. So that, like, whatever the width is should be half of the width. Because this is saying returns width, height. Returns 0. Okay, so yeah, so F32. Oh, no, don't. Turns the sign of the window's underlying drawable in pixels as width, height. Out of curiosity, if I set this to just be the exact amount, it should be in the bottom corner. So it should be in the bottom right. Is the window you see now the actual drawing window canvas? I mean, that's what I thought it was, but that's a really good point. We don't know for sure. So if I don't divide this by half, if I keep this exactly just that, it should be the bottom right, and we should only be able to see half of the circle. I'm actually going to make this 50 again, so we can really see where this is. And it's completely off the screen. So my guess is it's way down here, which means the canvas, is the canvas this? Like, is it giving me this? Like my full screen and not this window? Can you drag the screen full size and see if we can find it? Hungry Spirits, good morning. And you say yes. So that is what it is. Okay. No, I can't do that. I mean, I can move this around, but I don't think that's going to find it. Like, it's not down there. And I can't drag this full screen because the settings for GGEZ by default is this is the size of this window. Okay, so if this is what we got, then clearly I'm misunderstanding what these numbers are supposed to be. There's this graphics canvas. On graphics canvas, can I get what the size is? No, I can create a new one, but I don't want to do that. Print out the drawable size so we aren't guessing. That is a great idea. So let's see, right here, let's print these out. Oh, isn't there a new debug printer? What? It's not print line, it's something else. Do any of you remember what that is? DBG. There we go. Okay, so DBG, and I just want to print out width. Does it work exactly like print line where I can do this? And I'm gonna hand it the width and the height. Well, it's not yelling at me, so we have that. Let's go ahead and run this and see what we got. The width is 800 and the height is 600, which I believe is exactly where this is supposed to be. If I set, when it was like 50, it was like here. I wonder, it's 800, 600. What if I just set this to be like 400? So 800 by 600, so 400 by 300. Oh, dot zero. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so it's not exactly where I was expecting it to be. We were hoping it would be in the center. So is this really... Mouse, what did you do? Yeah, I think it might be a problem with the it might be a problem with our location, or maybe this isn't. Is it doubled? Is it because this is a 4K display and so it's like pixel density 2? M. Fiano, I missed what you said. You need win width. You need to go back. You need win width divided by 2 minus circle radius. Win width. Oh, is the circle radius starting from the top left? Is that how it draws the location? Mesh. 2D polygon mesh. I guess I'm just so used to circles being drawn from the center that I just went straight there. It didn't even cross my mind that it might be drawn from like the top left of it, which doesn't make too much sense. Oh, there's an issue. GG, I need to open up you. Oh, I didn't have my chat open in time. Let me keep that up there now, and then we'll come to GitHub/GZ. This is going to be issue 659. Oh, it's closed. Number 659. Will that work with? No, of course not. All right, so issues /659. Okay, for example, oh, right. I totally forgot. We had the two locations. We had the two locations of where to draw it. The difference is whether it's the mesh coordinate space or in the screen's coordinate space. When you create a mesh, imagine you're drawing the points on a piece of transparent graph paper. That's the mesh's coordinate system. When you call graphics draw, you put that over another piece of graphic paper, and the coordinates you pass to draw is how much you offset the two by. It's not just an offset. Draw takes options that can rotate, scale, etc. The mesh's coordinate system, if you just create your meshes that is centered at 50-50 and then rotate it by default. Okay, right. So I totally forgot that we had two different draws, because this draw right here is 100-100. So we've been sort of like, this is where we want the location to be. I kind of forget why we have these parentheses there. So if we have self.location, but we set this circle to be 0, 0. So this is going to be NA algebra, point 2, new 0.0, 0.0. Okay, we do that. Take you out. You, where's my terminal? Now you're in the exact center. That's what we wanted the entire time. And I forgot that we have the mesh location and the draw location, and they interact together. So the mesh location, so that would be this location right here. If I just isolated this mesh completely separately, its location is going to be equivalent of like up here in the top left. But when I put it like, that's outside of any canvas. The canvas, however, is, I'm saying, go into the center here. So I need to redo this to be width divided by 2.0 and height divided by 2.0. And this should give us exactly the same what we had. So yeah, it feels a little bit different, a little bit interesting. I think that's because right now we're doing something really simple. So therefore we don't need it at all. If later on we decide to do something where we need to like rotate it separately and not rotate everything else, then that's kind of what we can use that to our advantage. So in a way, we are painting everything up here, and then when we want it to come down here, it's not transposing. There's another word for like bringing like changing the location of the image. That's what we're doing here. Translate. Yes, translate. I was close. Just a few letters off, right? It's not like that completely changes the meaning of words. All right, so we don't need this anymore. Yes, so we can now set, let's go ahead and put our radius into here too. Our radius is going to be a F32. We'll make this back to 5.0 again. So we can get rid of you. All right, so first, clear the graphics. So clear everything away. We're gonna create our circle. Our new circle, I wonder if I can clean this up a little bit. I have context. The graphics mode fill. We're going to have the circle go in 0. We're going to set it to the radius. This is now going to be self.radius, the number of points, and the color, which I think we saw that there is there's a black. So we can just do graphics black. As opposed to this. There we go. And I can just close you right there. And that's our creating our circle. And then we draw. Okay, so we should now have a circle. That's a little bit more appropriate. So right in the center of the screen. Now we can move it by changing the location around because the location is the translated location for the dot. Does anyone remember their first circle drawn? Oh, geez. Also, good morning, Viable Clan member. The first circle drawn. You know, I don't remember exactly when that was. The first one that I can remember was in like a game engine, like Love 2D, or maybe like I pulled Unity like up and gave it a try for like a hot minute. Java. Oh, now okay. Yeah, I did take some classes way back in the day before it was actually like working. Visual Basic. I think that's what it was. Visual Basic. You never got into graphics. Do you feel bad? No, absolutely not. Stacking graphics is just one of the arms of development, but there's plenty of good ones out there. Oh, now you're asking the coordinates. Oh, that's just gonna be too hard. All right, so update to this game. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to now start having this move around the screen, and the way we're going to do that is just roll a dice. So we're going to get a random number, and we're going to move up if it's like 1, right if it's 2, something like that, which means we need a function on our implementation of game that we can then run. So I'm thinking, where do we have this? So we have, here's our update. We're returning nothing at all. In fact, we don't even need a function. We could just roll a random number here because that's kind of what we're doing. Is there a random number part of GGEZ? No results. Okay, so we'll just have to use the rand crate. Is rand crate still the suggested way of getting random numbers? Or am I just remembering old stuff and there's a new way that everybody's doing it? Still blows your mind that rand isn't in standard standard still. Yeah, I mean, let's see, where was this? This was in the YAML file. Cargo, oh, TOML file. All right, so rand with that. Rand API still does change. Is it still, is it because it's 0.7, so it's still in like beta? Let's go to the documentation. I don't need much. I just need to get a number. So if random, oh wait, that generates a Boolean? Oh, this generates a float between 0 and 1. So rand thread range. Okay. Generates a float between 0 and 1. I can deal with that. And then we'll just cut that into 4. Or we can multiply by 4 to like scale it up. That might work. Oh, can I do an int off of that? Because I was going to random values to use random. Generates a random value using the thread local random number generator. So that x equals random IU8, and that gets me that. Oh, so it's able to figure out what to do based upon what context I'm using it in. Okay, so I guess I am using random in a loop. So caching the generator can increase my performance. We can do that. Yeah, so probably an I32 to get that because I'm not going to store it. I'm just going to use it in an if statement. But I also don't want the Boolean version. What do I need? Use rand. I guess I could do this. I don't know if I need all of the things. So let's begin. Use rand. It's going to be random. And then I want to just use random, pass it like an, tell it, you're just yelling at me because I'm not using you. You're not telling me why you're yelling at me. You're just unused, okay. In update. All right, let's do here. Let direction equals, we're gonna call, yeah, direction equals gonna be random, and we're also gonna give it I32. Is I32 right? This is really small. I could just do I8. And it's gonna be up, so it can be an unsigned too, to be positive. And then we can just print these out. So debug our direction. How many times can we change the API for a random number generator? And random number of times. What did I eat? Random things, clearly. All right, so here you are. Our random numbers are just, oh, that's making my terminal very unhappy. But they were full integers, so we're able to deal with that. I kind of want to get a number between 1 and 4. Is there a way for me to limit it? Oh, look at this. Okay, so we have a vector which has 1, 2, and 3 for x and random. Is this choosing v.itermutation x equals random? I don't know if I want this. This seems, I don't think this is doing what I think it's doing. Am I trying to generate X and Y movements? Yeah, gen range. That's what I want. Where are you? Gen range. Generate a random value in the range low, high, inclusive of low and exclusive of high. The function is optimized. Okay, so this is gen range. Where is this from? Oh, here's our full example. So we need to get thread range and just range rng.genRange. Okay. So we use thread range to generate a random number generator. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. So rand, we're not gonna get random. Instead, we're going to get the thread range and RNG. And then down here in update, I think it was saying that we could we can cache this. So we could cache this inside of the game. right now, let's not worry about that. It's gonna be not optimized. So let RNG, and we have to be mutable. So mutable RNG equals our thread range. So we've got a random number generator now. Now we want our direction to be RNG dot gen range between 0 and 4. So essentially it would be 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And now we'll print out the direction. Did I lose my terminal? I lost my terminal, it crashed. Okay. Or I accidentally killed it. Bricks builds. I closed it. Okay. That's my mistake. Where this is nature of code, Rust, introduction, random walk, cargo run. So here we see if I froze this, we're getting 0, 1, 2, and 3. Not constantly in the same order, which would be less good for us. So that's perfect. So this gives us our direction. And then I want to say if direction is equal to 0. Actually, this is a match. This is better to be a match statement, isn't it? So match direction. If we are at 0, we want to change. So this location is going to need to be mute. Is that here I put it? No, not there. I forget where we put to make it mutable. Or if it's just mute self here, so therefore I can handle it. So if I do self dot location dot x, I don't actually know if this is set also. We're gonna set this to like self dot location dot x plus 1. So this is gonna be moving 1 to the right. 1.0. All right, well, it doesn't hate that, so that's a good sign. So then if we're 1, let's now move down. So self.location.y equals self.location.y plus 1.0. 2 is going to be moving to the left. So self.location.x minus 1.0. And then 3 is going to be moving up, which is the minus for the y. Non-exhaustive patterns. So int like i32 min and i32 max not covered? Oh, match, you don't know. I'm only getting these. Okay. I need to have a catch-all, which is this the appropriate mat pattern for this? How do I tell it? I guess I'll do a print line. We got a really strange number in the random number generator. Unsmiley face. I might as well like actually print out what the number is. Oh, unreachable. Interesting. Okay. I could also just do this, which is just call it number. So, I mean, kind of we're handling it, but we're just going to move forward. It just won't move our dot. So this is mutating our location. I don't need to debug you anymore. If I save you, let's see if we've got a random walker now. It is. It's bouncing around the screen. And then the very last thing is we want to not clear the screen anymore. To make it match. Unreachable lets you be explicit in code to tell others that will never reach there, and automatically panics to prevent further bugs. Ooh, okay, so that's actually really good. So in that case, back to underscore because we don't care about it, and we're going to do unreachable. There. Let's see, we got the random the trail of the random walk too, which is what we were going for. Not exactly. I need to make this be a, well, it's a black canvas. My choice here is either to make it a white canvas or just turn this into a white dot. And then just say that was my plan the entire time, which totally it wasn't. But we can watch our random walker walk around now. I can still supply the message just as you would with print line. Oh, that's nice too. So where are we? This is here, unreachable. So unexpected random number given. So save that. And here we have a random number. I'm actually, so now that I'm looking at this, this is way bigger than it needs to be. We can set our radius probably back down to like 2. Because even though you can't see the dot, you're going to be able to see the sort of like the trail it creates. But here we have it. This is random walk. All right. So moving on to the next example is, or I guess like maybe before I move on, thoughts, questions. I have thought in the past of maybe probably could make it that 1 to make it look like theirs, run radius. Oh yeah, I could definitely do that. This still looks actually large for 2 radius. I wonder if it's because this window is like such a small like 800 by 600. Let's try this. Yeah, this definitely looks a lot more like theirs. It's running really fast too, which is that the power of that the Rust compiler making it really fast. Now it doesn't help that when it goes off the screen, it could just potentially just go forever. which it did. It's now like way, way up at the top. Oh, this. So the next is an example of playing with random numbers and what this looks like. So it looks like we have 20. They're creating an array of 20 items, and then they're going to get a random number between 0 and 20 and 0 and 19, and they're going to just add 1 to it, and then this will go up by 1 pixel for each one that goes. And so we're going to get our length out of it and see what the random number distribution really looks like. So I have no problem with that. This could be interesting. I could also, man, having a reset for here or having it like move off the top and then move to the bottom would be also be interesting. But I'm not going to work on that. Let's begin with the next one. I'm gonna random walk working. Now, I was also thinking that it might be good to remember how to create a single like project that has a whole bunch of sub projects in it, and then instead of having like instead of running like cargo new each time for like completely separate projects, it's one cargo project with a bunch of example like main files in it, which I can't remember. I'll have to like look into that at some point in time. All right, so let's see the out. This is an introduction. We're going to do cargo new. This is I.2. Open up code here, and so we got a new project. So time forcing myself to like redo this over and over and over again is going to help me really get like used to setting up GGEZ, like using Rust. It's just going to be that like over and over and over again thing. So if we what do we need? We need GGEZ, we need random, so we need those two. So let's go ahead and just grab them. We can even grab them out. Just grab them out of here. So save view. We can go ahead and get this compiling now. Am I still in random? Yeah. Cargo run. That'll take a little bit of time to download and compile. We shouldn't get any drop frames. Apparently I've had 9 this entire time. So while that's happening, let's go ahead and get everything set up. Also, where is... Let's go back into our super simple and we'll just sort of set everything up the way we see here. Interesting. We have that. We also have this. Did we use event? I feel we might have. I'm not sure how I feel about the event, so like grabbing self out completely separately. That feels a little bit weird. Yes, we did use event. Okay. I guess I'll just grab these out when I need them. All right, so in our function main, we need to make the context. This is coming as a tuple, so our mute context and our mutated event loop. This is coming out of the context builder, so we need to grab that first. So use GGEZ. Surprised that didn't autocomplete for me. So we're going to create a new context builder. We're going to name this random distribution. Author is going to be Zerker. Then we're going to build it. And we'll have our .expect game context was not able to be created. Oh, RLS is still compiling at the bottom? That's why. It said disconnected all stream. Oh, that's not good. Are you still done? Oh, you're done now. Maybe it's also because this was happening at the same time that was not good. It's also, oh, this disconnected. That's actually my Twitch highlighter extension, which I keep on forgetting to activate. But I don't want it to be on all the time because then people just come into my random chat during the day and then just start highlighting blindly to see, which I guess that would be interesting from your point of view, but not so much from mine. Okay, so then we're going to create a new game. So we have immutable, we have our main game equals, where did my game come from again? Oh, my game is our struct down here. So we have our struct, sort of like our game state. Let's call this game state. Line 5. Well, also this doesn't help that like I'm adding lines to it, so now it's like highlighting the wrong thing. All right. So we don't have anything in here right now, but this is going to be our game state. We do need a new on here, so that's going to be an impl game state. Do we need to make this public function? I think we do. So new, we're going to have our context, which is a type reference to immutable context. We're also going to have, that's pretty much it. We're going to return game state. I guess game state isn't correct then, is it? It's just the actual game. And so we're going to return a game like that. It is a really cool feature, except I have a problem in this Twitch highlighter extension here. Even though you've highlighted it, it doesn't show up. And so if I try to make it go away, I can't. So it's kind of here until I turn this back off and on again. I have no idea why that. Oh, it didn't highlight because there's nothing on here. I bet. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why. You just highlight everything, right? Make it interesting. Okay, so we have a new game. A game new. We're gonna We're gonna pass it the context. So yeah, a mutable reference to the context. And that's that there. And then we're going to run this. So we're going to match event. That's going to be a GG event. So we're going to run. Now we're going to grab it, the mutable context, and the mutable event loop. We have that. And the game. So a reference to the immutable game. And then we have okay. So if it's okay, we don't really care what that is. This is what's going to happen at the very end. So I'm going to sort of print line exited cleanly and an error. We're going to grab the error. Print line, and we're going to say error occurred. I think that's right. Error. All right, so that should. What are you upset about? Also, you've all been adding lines, so let's see. Line 21. Oh, I don't think you can send messages. Oh, wait, you can. Look at that. The message is there. That's interesting. That's awesome. Try to open the highlight window. Still nothing in here. You can remove the lines. Okay, I can't remove them. You can remove. Oh, interesting. So you guys can all have a war in the comments about highlighting and unhighlighting lines. Perfect. What are you upset about? What did I do wrong here? No clue the error. I mean, yeah, I have no clue either. We have seen this in the past where we have errors showing in VS Code, even though there are no errors, and that's just RLS. Line 20, just comment out. I don't think I need to comment out this line. Let's try running this. Oh, wait. We can't run this yet. We haven't added the traits yet. So we have the structure, we have main, the struct, we implement my game, we've got that. What we don't have is this. So we have to implement the event handler, which is off of event. Oh, it's just a single. I don't know why I ended up doing two. That was weird. Okay, so I want the event handler. And so here, can you write a match statement like that though? Is that just comment out the build part? I think that's fine. Also, notice this made the error go away. So it was noticing that we were supposed to implement this for it. This is why I have to do it multiple times to like sort of ingrain it into my brain of what I'm trying to do. All right, so we have these private functions, update, which we're going to take a mutable reference to self. We don't care about our context right now, but it's a mutable reference to, it's a mutable context. And we're going to return a type game result, I think is up here. And we don't really care what's in it. Actually, it's going to be nothing. That's what's going to be returned. Absolutely nothing. And so, of course, we're going to just return OK with the nothing, said nothing that we're expecting. We also need our fn draw, mutable self. We have our context, which is a mutable reference to context, and a game result, which is that again. And here's where we decide, like, do we want to clear our graphics? How do we want that to work? Let's see. Stacking, you asked, can you write a match statement like that though? So this one, right? Where we're matching off this and it has an OK and error. Is that what you're asking? Or is that an old question? Oh, this match just seems strange. Yeah, so it's like run the event and then it's going to return a result results type, which is either going to have the error, OK, or the error. So looks like this won't run until after like the game is completed. Game results. Why are you upset? Mismatch types. Expected enum, standard result found. This thing. Game result that. What are you upset about? Function draw, return. So it's still the same game result. Oh wait, I haven't returned OK yet. That's why. So basically I need this. That'll make it happy. And oh, we do need the graphics present. Oh, that's what it is. Graphics present returns that. Graphics. So that means we need graphics here. And we'll hand it the context. And that's it. Mixedy Exodus, you got a 1-day internship job interview tomorrow. Got any tips? I mean, they're so like different for every company. Try to ask them as many questions as you can about like what's going to happen there, and then just learn that. Is this the first one you've ever done, like the first interview? If it is, treat this sort of like an experimental scouting mission. If you don't get the job, that's okay. You're going in there to learn as much as possible about what kind of interviews might be like in your area. And then the next time, you'll be better and you'll be more prepared. Okay, so we have this. Yeah, the other thing is like all the general things that I used to tell my students: be calm as much as possible. Get really good night's sleep night before. Ask for water when you get there if they don't give you any. You can use the water to delay answering any questions by sort of taking a drink from it before you answer. Like that. And remember, this is your first interview. It takes most people many interviews to get a job. So don't worry if things don't go your way. That awkward slow chuck. It's like, yeah, let me think about that. And then just like drink the entire thing all at once. All right. We're close to my shutting down time. If the question is real tough, you keep feeling best. Oh, I guess that's the other thing. If you don't know the answer, tell them you don't know the answer. They're looking for an intern. They're not looking for a senior developer who knows everything. Admit you don't know what you don't know, and show them that you can learn. That's like the other big thing. You're thinking about going abroad next summer? I have no idea about that. I've never gone abroad to get a job myself. My guess is going to be exactly the same. You want to show the growth mindset. You want to show that you can improve and grow. So is this stream not every weekday anymore? No, it's not every weekday. I'm doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But because of that, I'm able to do it a little bit longer each of those days. So I think that's been super helpful. The other 2 days I've been filling out with actually like working out and staying healthy. So that's kind of like my my gift to myself. Maybe someday I'll be able to like not work a day job, and then I can stream all the time. But I've got to like actually make products that can sell first. What were we doing? Right. It is 8:10. Let's go ahead and start winding down, but we can talk about what we're going to do next. We want to create, because we're building this, which means we need to create a bunch of we need to create like the locations for random numbers. So inside of this new game, we need to store a vector 20 sizes, like 20 length, with random. I guess this is gonna be floats. Probably floats. Oh no, okay, so yeah, they're gonna be with random, like with 0.0 0.0 in each. We know the size. Yeah, so we know the size. It's gonna be like 20 long. They're gonna have 0.0 in each. So for example, that would be like 0.0 0.0 0.0. And then we're going to randomly choose one of these and increment, like add 1 to it. So then it would be 1.0, 1.0, 2.0, 1.0, something like this. And then we're going to, in draw, loop through the stored vector and draw a rectangle for each with height being the value. That's what we're gonna do. So like the first one will be this one, and so if it gets incremented, it'll just like come up to here, and then sort of like moving up. And then we'll just have to figure out the width and the starting positions of those, but it'll be interesting. Plus also we can set them to be like random colors too, which might be fun. But I think this is where I'm gonna stop. So I'm gonna save you, update you, got set up for the random distribution example. I guess I could just call this a challenge. Push those all up. Oh, this problem still. Right. Because when I created this, for some reason, I should just fix this right now. Did you copy? I don't trust you. All right, so get remote -v. So yeah, it sets the HTTP. So I want to do get remote. I think I accidentally set it to the URL, which was not what I wanted to do. Get remote. Oh, I forget. Is it change? Is it set? Just vim the .conf. Get remote -h. Not rename. Not set. Set URL. Set URL for origin to be that. And so now it's correct. So now I should be able to. Yes, I know. Come on, cancel. Now it pushed up. Here they all are now. So perfect. So I'm going to copy this and paste it in for all of you because I don't have a chat bot yet. So you could all go and take a look at this code if you want to. Deeds, you're going to start your internship soon doing some work in Qt. You've used Ubuntu as well as Windows for programming, but mostly using Ubuntu. Worth doing dual boot and laptop to use Windows for some gaming and Ubuntu for some development. I mean, yeah, I just never got around to it for this computer that the camera is on top of. For gaming, I've been mostly just, I got a Switch, and so I just use that. Or I have like a full Windows computer that has a lot better of like an actual graphics card in it. That being said, I do want to build an actual Windows computer so I can do better games. If it's a laptop, you're going to get questionable gaming experience out of it anyways. And there's so many good games on Linux now. So yeah, that's all I've got for that. All right, I am going to switch over to I'm trying to use my mouse to go over the Windows screen. Switch over to the ending screen, I don't have the fancy one because I have all the titles and everything else wrong. So with that, thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to go get these uploaded yesterday or Mondays and today's, put them up onto YouTube. If you're new here and you don't know where my YouTube is, I've got links down below. My next planned stream is going to be Friday morning. I start these at 6:45 a.m. Mountain Time, and they go for about an hour and a half. All right, I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, even if your day is at the end, and I'll see you all next time.